The Shorecrest soccer program has been very successful in the past. Under my direction, we have a state first place finish, a state second place finish, and a state third place finish. In my 10 years I've been here, we've been the state qualified for state 9 times. As a school overall, dating back to the beginning of the school has 3 state championships. The last time we won state was in 2009. Last year's season went very well. I don't recall the record, but a lot of wins and very few losses. We won the Wesco championship and moved on through the district tournament, qualified for state, and eventually finished 3rd in the state championships. We graduated, I believe, about 9 players. Replacements are usually found in a couple ways. Usually most of the replacement spots will be filled by JV players. However, oftentimes there's new kids that transfer into the school, exchange students, so just various ways, but mainly through the JV program.
When I got pulled up to varsity, it was just the greatest feeling. Guys really took me in, made me feel like I was a part of the family, and it was great learning experience.
Shorecrest Soccer has been a very strong program for many years, and I don't see why that would change. Even though we lost a bunch of players, we had a pretty strong JV team last year, and we have a strong incoming class, so we'll bring players up and we'll nurture them and help them grow.
I look for 3 things. I look for skill, I look for athleticism, and I look for a player's willingness to be aggressive and work hard.
My expectations for this coming up season, it's tough. Last year we had a really strong team, and we lost 9 seniors from that team. We only have a couple returning players this year. So I think definitely the expectations for us are lower, but I don't think that means that we can't reach the same heights we did last year, and I think it might take a little bit to get going and figure out the right formation and the right positions, but eventually I think that we'll have a strong team once again. So I think we can go almost as far as last year, if not as far.
My expectations for the upcoming season are to do good things. We want to be competitive. This is Shorecrest Soccer, and there's something about the players here at Shorecrest that they just have a competitive spirit. And I think our goal should always be to, win the conference, get back to state, and hopefully, do well in the state tournament.
This season, I expect us to do quite well. Maybe not as well as last year, but I expect us to still compete against all the teams in our league and, win quite a bit of games and make it to postseason and, do well.
Well, this season, I think it's going to be a very young team, but I have a feeling that they're going to be able to overcome that and get to state just as far as last year.
Against the other teams in our league this year, it's definitely going to be tough because a lot of them weren't in the same position as we were as far as losing players. I know for a fact that teams like Shorewood and Glacier Peak, who have been big rivals in the past, haven't lost nearly as many players as we have. So it's definitely a rebuilding year for us. But like I said before, I think after we take a little bit of time after preseason to get the right formation and the right players in the right positions to get it to work cohesively and as a unit, I think that we'll have once again a good team and we can challenge those top teams once again this year.
Well, the Wesco League is one of the top leagues in the state. So it's always a battle whether or not we have a top team or maybe not as good a team. But I do feel like we're going to be competitive. I think we'll do better than a lot of people think.
I think the team chemistry this year will be very weak just because there's not a lot of returners coming out, and there's it's just going to be hard to have the same chemistry as you had last year.
Based off of how Shorewood was last year and all of the seniors that they lost, even though they didn't lose quite as many as we did, they definitely lost a lot of key seniors, so I believe that we will be better than Shorecrest.
Playing against Shorecrest, I think it's always super fun. There's actually fans for once, and everyone gets super pumped up, and it's always a good game because we're pretty competitive with each other. So.
Shorewood is always good. They're just like Shorecrest. They take pride in their soccer over there. The Shorewood-Shorecrest crosstown rivalry is one of the best rivalries, and arguably one of the best rivalries in all of high school soccer, and it's always going to be a close game.
I think because Shorecrest lost a lot of their seniors, that Shorewood's probably going to absolutely smash them, possibly 3 or 4-0.
Against Shorewood, I think we'll do really well. We have a young team, but we've all played together in some form or another. And Shorewood lost a lot of good players as well, so I think we'll mold faster and we'll get the job done this year. The next steps for us this season, just to train hard every day, mold together, get good team bonding so we can move forward. No conflicts within the team. Good leadership from Drew, the captains, and every other player, because we all need our individual leadership in order to succeed. Cool.